Good evening, gamers. My name is KarQ. I'm actually 2 days late on this article from the Director's Take blog from Aaron Keller. This was posted on January 22nd. It is currently Saturday, January 24th, so apologies for that. But let me take a look at this. I was not home the past couple of days, so we're just doing a little catch up here. And I know this article touches on 6v6 and a bunch of other things that Aaron wants to review for the year and the upcoming seasons. So Aaron says, Happy New Year, everyone. It's the first Director's Take of 2026, and we can't wait to show you everything that's coming this year, starting with next season. Expect more on that soon. For this blog, though, I'd like to go over a few items from Season 20. In addition to the release of our newest gladiatorial hero, Vendetta, this season also saw the release of a new winter event, a new challenger system that replaced our top 500 leaderboards, and a new aim assist system on console. There's been quite a bit of discussion and feedback over each one of these, and that's what I'd like to go over today. So each subheading here, first thing is the top 500 leaderboard. The subheading is called Challenge Accepted. So previously, the top 500 leaderboards acted as a list of the highest skilled players by rank. Over the past few years, there has been frequent community feedback about top 500, so we looked to design a new system. This system would show the best and most committed players in a region while limiting leaderboard camping, which we know has been a pain point for the Overwatch community. The Challenger system tracks a Challenger score for any player in Diamond rank and above, and as you win matches, you accumulate more points, and those with the highest Challenger score go on the leaderboards. Higher rank players earn more points for every win. However, we saw several problems with the system on release. Number one, first problem, our initial tuning didn't take a player's rank into account enough and rewarded playtime too heavily. Problem number two was that giving every player in a match a score based on the highest ranked player in that match limited our ability to tune the system. Number three, because of a crossplay bug, many Diamond players were able to place much higher on the leaderboards than we intended. Number four, the tuning for the heat bonus is too hidden from players. And number five, players felt that the top 500 leaderboards had more prestige as a name than the Challenger leaderboard did. So we've since fixed that bug, and the Diamond players are now dropping down in the leaderboards. In addition, we're doing a big tuning pass next season to favor your rank more than the system currently does. Our goal is for the leaderboard to be more directly organized by rank next season. That's the big one that I think most high ranked players, especially on social media, are complaining about. With extremely committed players still sometimes able to outscore those that haven't played as much. We still want top 500 to feel like a race, but we heard your feedback. We'd like rank to count for a lot more than it did this season. A goal for next season is for the top of the leaderboards to be exclusively champion players. And there are a few details to go over here. Champion players have longer queue times than players of other ranks, since playtime will still have some effect on a player's total score. We're factoring those longer queue times into the challenger score that champion players get for winning. Also, the number of points awarded for a win increases as the season goes on because of that heat bonus. So matches later in the season are more important for a player's final score than those early in the season. Currently, this mechanic is too hidden, and we're exploring ways to better highlight it. Finally, we agree that the moniker of top 500 does have a certain amount of prestige in it. The system will keep the Challenger name, but will rename the leaderboards to top 500. We'd like you to view this system as truly competitive and for players at the top to be recognized as the best. Hopefully these changes will restore confidence in those goals. Okay, so let me talk about this for a moment here. The new pain point of the new system is that it rewards playtime too heavily. It feels bad when Masters 5 Joe Schmo, Jobless Jim, is outranking a Champion 3 player. But that Masters 2 player had to play so much more to meet the same challenger score that a champion player would have, because champions are earning a lot more than Masters player, but it still feels bad when you see it outranked. Thus, I can see their solution in trying to weigh their rank higher than playtime. So that's like the main gripes with it. That being said, outside of like the ego and the prestige of showing off like how high ranked you are based on challenger score or rank or whatever, I think I posed this question last time when we talked about this new system. How is match quality? Because that's like a factor that a lot of the top players may be conveniently ignoring. The fact that there's less camping with this new system means you don't have one person making 7 accounts and playing on all of them, playing the minimum amount to reach a certain rank and then camping 7 slots. And then they continually make new smurfs. Their argument is to combat queue time. I think the biggest pro of this system, for sure, is that the fact that we're forcing champion players to continue queuing. And because more champion players are queuing and not making alt accounts, camping ranks or whatever, the match quality of these ranks should be going up. In theory. I'm not at champion right now, so I'm not going to put words in champion players' mouths who may or may not be watching this, but in theory, I think that's like the best possible byproduct of this new system, is that once you hit champion 5, you're not just going to leave it at champion 5 and play on an alt account that's like low GM and get another one up there, because that defeats the system of a competitive leaderboard. You want the champion players to continue queuing and go even higher because there's like something to attain, which means there's more champion players in the pool, and then the queue times will actually go down and you don't have to keep making Smurf accounts. It seems like their goal. Now they missed the mark on making it feel rewarding, and like it doesn't feel good when you still haven't had enough play to, like, you're not trying to camp, but you're just, you know, you're champion 5 and you have a 9 to 5, and you know, Jobless Jim at Masters 5 is outranking you. So I think they could definitely tweak that in the sense that they make it so champions will only show up on the leaderboard, especially on the front and second page. I think that would help a lot. What they're implying here is that a champion 5 might still outrank the champion 2 player, especially if they played like triple the amount of games. I'm not sure what the other solution to that is, but I think this might be a nice middle ground. Even if they're champion, like you can kind of, I'm hoping the champion 1 player respects the champion 5 player, be like, all right, you played like 5 times the games as me. Understandable, but like you still show up on the leaderboard. Maybe there's still some prestige to it. I don't know. I'm old and washed up now. I'm not at this level anymore, so like I'm also not going to put words in your mouth. Match quality was something that people complained about for a long time. Back when I used to be much better at the game, that was what I enjoyed more. Like, you know, seeing like the top Overwatch League pros always like queuing up the game and not making an alt account right away to bypass the queue times and just, you know, camp more slots. That was annoying for me back in the day. So that's kind of what I'm drawing to. In any case, it seems like they're trying to tune in a little bit more. I also do want to say I hate the name Challenger because like I think other games do that. I really like the idea of just T500 or like champion, and I think your champion rank should show up on your profile over your leaderboard rank, or maybe they should have 2, where like when you look at a profile and you want that prestige, I want it to show that champion over top 500 ranking. Because right now, if you know Masters 5 Challenger, Masters 5 Jobless Jim, if you look at his profile, he may be ranked like 50 because he's rank 50 on the Challenger system, but it'll conveniently always hide the Masters rank behind that, versus champion player who's rank 70 but he's played much less games, it'll show rank 70, so it looks like the rank 50 guy is better than the rank 70, but that's just simply not true. So like you also need them to display the actual rank behind the challenger number. That's like a big thing for the players, and that one I can speak on because that part's true and I've experienced that. Anyways, let's move on here. Recalibrating aim. So for the console players, what do we have here? Over time, we've seen a lot of positive impressions, but there's been a negative reaction for many console players for a few reasons. Number 1, when the system was first implemented, it changed the feel of the game for many players. Number 2, there was no way for you to go back to the previous system if you preferred that one. And number 3, there's a perception that this update has shifted the meta in unhealthy ways for console players. Let's get this out of the way first. We introduced the system incorrectly. As game director, one of my top priorities is to protect the player experience, and changing the feel of aiming, the most important control in the game, is not protecting that experience. We've had a lot of discussion around this internally, and we still like this new system, but if we can go back in time, we would have rolled it out a lot differently. Since we can't go back in time, here's what we're going to do instead. We've already reverted some of the changes that modified a player's default aim settings. In the discussions we're tracking, we see that many players now prefer the new system, but there are still quite a few that miss the old one. This is a matter of personal preference, and aim feel is incredibly important to the player experience. So next season, we're implementing the ability for you to optionally select the old system if you prefer it. Think of it as a legacy mode for aiming. The big thing is you don't want to, if people go back, you don't want to wipe the new ones. And I think that's like going to be a big pain point, but good to see that they're walking back on something that missed the mark. So we'll take that. Okay, next, cookie economics. Let's chat about the winter event. We implemented a new system where players earned cookies through challenges and exchanged them for rewards during the event. 2 main pieces of feedback caught our attention. Many of you thought that the only way to earn cookies was through the event mode, and those of you who realized you could earn cookies through challenges thought we tied too many of the rewards directly to event modes. You could earn most of your festive rewards through the standard daily challenges, but this wasn't readily apparent when looking at the winter event reward page. We'll be sure to make this easier to understand if we run this type of event again in the future. And we agree with the second piece of feedback. At the end of the day, we want you to engage with Overwatch and our seasonal offerings in whatever way is most fun for you. We don't think it's healthy to force players into modes that you'd rather not play just for rewards. And last but not least, OpenQ and you and 6v6. So in a recent live stream, I made a remark that caused some of the community to think that we're intentionally withholding support from these queues. This isn't true. OpenQ is the second most popular way to play Overwatch, and we're currently talking about what it would look like to put more support into these modes this year. However, before we can move in any particular direction, it's important to analyze why players are interacting with these queues. This mode is OpenQ and it's 6v6. We've actually had OpenQ in the game for some time now, but 6v6 became its standard team size in early 2025. 1 year later, so now in 2026, this mode is roughly as popular now as it was before the change to 6v6 was made. The easiest example to illustrate why this is a tricky situation to solve is that some open queue players jump in for fast queue times, while some 6v6 players are looking for more balanced team compositions. Implementing features for either one could hurt the other. While we don't have a lot of concrete evidence to support either of these directions at the moment, we'll be collecting data and experimenting to find the best solution in the near future. 2026 is going to be a massive year for Overwatch. The team is so excited to share all the huge things we have planned to make this year a truly memorable one. Thanks for giving your feedback as always, and let's make a great game. So, a couple things here. So I mostly play 6v6. That's the first thing. So I enjoy the mode. Number two, they just said this is the second most popular way to play Overwatch, which means indirectly that Stadium is not the second most popular way to play, which is a bit of a shame. I think Stadium has a lot of potential, but it feels like at its current state, people who only play Stadium are those who just love Stadium, and you got rid of like the people who don't mind just queuing up an occasional Stadium game or not. And I think a lot of it has to do with matchmaking, and they kind of they kind of fragmented it by going either quick play or competitive. I think Stadium should just be one or the other. Like really commit to just making it a casual fun mode or not. Makes it really difficult to capture the player base. Their identity is kind of in two places. I know they called it casual competitive, but now you're leaning into both, and you know, matchmaking competitive feels a little bit of really wonky. Sometimes you just get people who are really good and sometimes you don't, and even if like it's really hard to transfer the MMR or the ranking from another mode like quick play or ranked into that one, because some of the skills don't translate one-to-one, breakpoints and different and blah blah. So Stadium just does not feel fun for a lot of players thanks to matchmaking. The chaos of it is okay to me, but I can understand that being the big pain point, and like the player base dipping down and not playing it as the second most popular way is kind of crazy. Number two, I think public perception of 6v6 is very interesting, where it's only now as popular as it was before the change to 6v6 was made. Just because streamers like myself and others started playing it recently doesn't mean it's that popular, and I really think it's region specific. I looked at the OpenQ top 500 leaderboards, and people in Americas, like they're filling up all the slots. Like people are hitting that 5,000 challenger score and like right all the way up to 500. But if you look at EU and Asia, a lot of them don't play OpenQ 6v6. They're not taking up very many challenger score slots right now, which means not a lot of people have queued there. And when you look at Overwatch as a whole, as a player base, they're looking at the stat that it's as popular now, like not region based, just overall as a game. And this game is a worldwide game, right? People here, like when you watch this, I would assume more of you guys are from North America. I can look at the analytics on YouTube, and majority of you guys are American, North American, Americas players. Is a little bit of a lopsided view of the greater community as a whole. And there's a lot of you guys who play console. I don't even know if consoles OpenQ 6v6 is that popular. That being said, the fact that it has finally made it to the second most popular way is good, in the fact that we're going to get some support. But I just wanted to point that out. As much as I love 6v6 and I'm happy that they're adding more support to it, it's not quite nearly as popular as you may perceive, because you know, esports is still being played on the 5v5 mode. All the players in Korea and Asia and a lot of the console players are still playing the main game mode, and a lot of people who just queue casually, they just queue whatever's like in front of them, which is probably just quick play. They don't even like look up videos or listen to stuff like this. But just wanted to point that out, which is quite interesting. All in all, pretty good insight from Aaron, and I'm excited to see what's happening next season. That's it for this article. Thanks for listening, and if you guys have any commentary and comments to add, just leave them down there. Happy to read them. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.